Bombshell, it just happened. Endrick to Arsenal and Gabriel Jesus leaving. What's up, Gooners? Welcome back to AFC Daily News. We've got 3 massive Arsenal stories to bring you today, with the latest news and updates coming out of the Emirates. So, if you're an Arsenal fan, you're definitely going to want to hear this. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get straight into it. Right, Gooners, so you know how Vinicius Jr. renewed his Real Madrid contract and we all felt that collective gut punch? Well, hold on, because here is something that is going to make you feel very differently about this situation. According to Ramon Alvarez de Mon, Rock Nation, the same agency that represents Vinicius Jr., are now actively working on getting Endrick to the Premier League. Real Madrid are open to the move following the signings of Carlos Espí and Yan Diomande, which has created a genuine attacking logjam at the Bernabeu, and the Brazilian forward is being actively offered to English clubs. Arsenal are in that conversation. Now, before you start losing your mind with excitement, let me be completely straight with you here, because this is one of those moments where I think the honest take is more valuable than the hype. Endrick is talented. Genuinely talented. He is 20 years old, he is versatile, and he has Real Madrid pedigree. His physical profile, his directness, his ability to operate across the front line, all of that is real and all of that has value. And yes, when Rock Nation are knocking on your door with a Real Madrid player available, you have to at least listen. But here is the question I want you to sit with honestly. Does Endrick actually move the needle for Arsenal right now? Because when you look at what the Gunners already have across the front line, Havertz, Marino, Solis, Martinelli, Ezri, and then you ask whether a 20-year-old who is somewhere between a centre-forward, a winger and a number 10 is genuinely better than any of those options in this moment, the answer is not as obvious as the Real Madrid badge makes it appear. He would likely cost at least £40 million. That is not a small number. And in a window where Arsenal still need Alvarez, potentially Konsa, and are managing multiple other situations simultaneously, spending £40 million on a player who does not clearly solve a specific problem feels dangerously close to the panic buying that Berta has avoided all summer. The worst thing Arsenal could do after missing out on Vinicius is throw money at a player simply because they need to respond to the disappointment. That is exactly how bad transfers happen. The answer, as we have been saying for weeks, is Alvarez. He is the main target. He is the right target. And Berta should be spending every minute of energy chasing that deal rather than being distracted by an Endrick offer that Rock Nation are making to multiple clubs simultaneously. Stay focused, Berta. So Gooners, hand on heart, do you actually want Arsenal to pursue Endrick after missing out on Vinicius? Or do you agree that all the energy needs to go straight into the Alvarez deal? Drop your completely honest take in the comments right now. No hype, just honesty. Okay, Gooners, I want you to pay close attention to this one, because what I am about to describe is not just a transfer story. It is a masterclass in negotiating strategy that Berta has already used once this summer to save Arsenal £25 million, and he is doing the exact same thing again right now with Ezri Konsa. Cast your mind back to the Guimaraes saga. Arsenal opened with £50 million. Newcastle laughed. Arsenal came back with £65 million. Newcastle were still unmoved. Time passed. Guimaraes started making his feelings known to the club. The relationship softened. Both sides found a compromise at £75 million, saving Arsenal as much as £25 million compared to what Newcastle originally demanded. Patient, disciplined, brilliant. Now look at what is happening with Konsa. The Daily Mail are reporting that Arsenal's original offer for the Villa centre-back was believed to be around £35 million, little more than half of Aston Villa's £60 million valuation. Villa found that approach, in the Mail's words, quite insulting and arrogant. They knocked it back. Arsenal did not immediately go back with a higher number. They waited. And now here is the detail that tells you everything about where this is heading. The Villa squad are becoming increasingly resigned to Konsa's departure. The player himself is starting to wriggle. Sound familiar? Because it is exactly the same sequence of events that preceded Guimaraes packing his bags for North London. Here is why this particular deal has a beautiful extra dimension that the Guimaraes saga did not. Ezri Konsa and Bukayo Saka are best friends. Best friends? The same Bukayo Saka who has been a central figure in Arsenal's title-winning culture, who represents everything Arteta wants in terms of character and standards, and who has been at the club through the entire journey from mid-table to Premier League champions. If Saka is in Konsa's ear about what life at the Emirates looks like, and you better believe he is, then Arsenal have a recruitment weapon that no other interested club can replicate. Liverpool are monitoring the situation too, but they cannot offer a best friend. A compromise around £45 million feels increasingly achievable. That is £25 to £30 million below where Villa started. Berta saves Arsenal money again, lands a Premier League proven, England international centre-back who can cover right-back as well, and gives Arteta the cover he desperately needs during the Saliba rehabilitation period. Patience wins again. So Gooners, does Berta's Guimarães negotiating blueprint give you full confidence he can land Konsa at the right price? And would £45 million be good business for a player of his quality and versatility? Tell me everything in the comments. Gooners, before we get into the details of this one, I want you to take a moment because this story deserves more than just a cold transfer update. Gabriel Jesus is leaving Arsenal, and however you feel about his time at the club, this man deserves a proper, honest send-off. According to GE.Globo, Napoli have made the Brazilian striker their transfer priority this summer and are pushing hard to get a deal done. Jesus himself considers the move a genuine possibility. And honestly, you can understand why completely. At 29, he needs regular first-team football. Arsenal cannot give him that anymore. With Havertz and Gyökeres firmly established as the first and second choice options, and Mikel Merino now effectively ahead of Jesus in the striking pecking order, the writing has been on the wall for some time. He played 27 games last season across all competitions with just 9 starts. In both pre-season friendlies so far, he has come off the bench. Napoli means Serie A, regular football, and a chance to feel like the main man again. He deserves that. The financial side is typically Arsenal, slightly complicated. Berta is holding out for a minimum of £17 million, but Napoli will push for less, given his contract situation and limited recent minutes. The real obstacle, and let's be completely transparent about this, is the wages. Jesus earns £265,000 per week. Getting those wages off the books is arguably worth more to Arsenal's financial planning than whatever transfer fee they can generate. At £17 million plus the wage bill cleared, this is business Arsenal need to complete quickly. But here is what matters beyond the numbers. Gabriel Jesus arrived in 2022 and transformed this Arsenal club. Not just in terms of goals, though he scored and created plenty, but in terms of what he demanded from everyone around him in training, in his pressing, in his absolute refusal to accept anything less than maximum effort in every moment. He was the first genuinely elite signing of the Arteta era. He was the player who showed everyone else what the standards needed to look like. He spearheaded the Arsenal side that made the jump from also-rans to genuine title challengers, and he was on that pitch when the Premier League trophy was lifted. That matters. That is legacy. He did what he came to do. And now it is right for both parties to move on. Jesus to a place where he can be the centre of everything again. Arsenal to a future built on the foundations he helped lay. Naples is a beautiful city with a passionate football culture that will love him. Go well, Gabby. You were one of us. So Gooners, how do you honestly look back on Gabriel Jesus' time at Arsenal, and does his contribution to building the culture that eventually won the Premier League title get enough credit from this fan base? I want your most honest and emotional takes in the comments. Let's give this man the send-off he deserves. So Gooners, just look at the incredible summer we're already having. Bruno Guimarães confirmed, Endrick potentially arriving, Julian Alvarez as the main target, Ezri Konsa looking increasingly inevitable. And now Gabriel Jesus could be on his way to Napoli, and this transfer window is far from over, not even close. So make sure you hit the subscribe button right now if you haven't already, because the biggest moments of this summer are still to come, and you'll want to be here for every single one of them. Press that button now. It's completely free. That's all from me today. Until next time, Gooners, come on you Gunners.